What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfire's. Huge story breaking earlier today across a ton of outlets, but originally from the Wall Street Journal, that the most successful Marvel directors in the Russo brothers have hit an impasse in returning to Marvel Studios in negotiations, stemming at least in part from what happened with Scarlett Johansson and the lawsuit filed earlier this year. We're going to break down everything in this report, including one small but very important detail that I don't think people are focusing on enough, as well as the implications and future of Marvel Phase 5 and 6 to specific franchises we've been reporting on and recently that the Russos have linked themselves to in previous interviews. We're breaking down everything the Russos return to Marvel Studios, but first, if you could maybe consider grabbing the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content here, and we do it all. Everything from the official trailer breakdowns and Easter eggs of episodes all the way to the anonymous 4chan plot leak. So if that's your kind of thing, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button, leaving a comment down below, and if you do, that'll automatically enter you for the multiple giveaways, including PlayStation 5's weekly Disney Plus subscriptions and tickets to go see Shang-Chi every day this week. Now, as reported earlier today by the Wall Street Journal, the Russos have, quote, hit an impasse in negotiations to direct another Marvel movie, and added that what happened between Scarlett Johansson and Disney, quote, left them unsure how their next movie would be distributed and how they would be paid. Now, to be quite literal here, impasse means impossible to pass, literally cannot progress any further. This is a report that the Russos, in somewhat of negotiations with Marvel Studios, can't progress any further. Now, why they were in negotiations, we're going to touch on in just a moment, but the most important part of this story was the next detail they added, not what they said about the Russos. And that detail is that the Russos declined comment for this story. Now, that tells me that if the Russos declined comment, even though they may have known they were on the record when they said those things, that they don't want to be in the public eye saying anything, that would tell me they might be in negotiations. Also, why would you reach an impasse at that point? Or why would this report even come out if it was just them speaking aloud about whether or not they would return? There would be no impasse, it would all be hypothetical anyway. That's because in past interviews, and as many of these reports went on to point out, because it's public knowledge now, we've all reported on this multiple times, the Russos have been very vocal about what would bring them back to Marvel Studios after the accomplishment of Avengers Endgame and their 4 very successful, critically and fan-held everyone loves Civil War. Everyone thinks Captain America Winter Soldier may be one of the best, if not the best, MCU films of all time, and they did Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. They've talked about this multiple times, that Secret Wars was really the event storytelling in the first book that they fell in love with, and would love to come back and do something like that, and that experience would rival what they did with Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. Arguably, that 2-part series would be an even bigger film, and since the fandom's grown, you see what just happened with Spider-Man No Way Home, and the possibilities for the numbers to get even bigger than that. The other franchise, and obviously it is pretty obvious what they would pick, Wolverine is the other franchise that they've said multiple times that they'd be interested in coming back from. And honestly, I think their tone would fit a Wolverine movie maybe best of all the franchises. They have a very serious, very serious realistic tone that lent itself to amazing Avengers movies in the Infinity Saga, really endeared us as a fandom and maybe the lay fan into the films, because it's just great filmmaking regardless of the characters, the fantasy, and the CGI. But that sort of somber, serious undertone that has marked their films, I think would be a perfect match for a Wolverine. Now, as I just pointed out moments ago in this video, could they have been in negotiations for either of these properties? Just in the last 14 days here at the channel, I wrote about Jim Shooter, the creator of the original Secret Wars story, divulging at a recent Comic-Con in Orlando called MegaCon that he had been approached by Marvel Studios to make sure that he could sign a waiver and that they were legally entitled to do Secret Wars without his permission and or risk of being sued. Basically, he was explaining that it was already a work for hire, that he would have to say that it wasn't in order for him to sue them in the first place, but they wanted to come to him with extra money, and he basically immediately flagged on the fact that this must be for a film, and when he pressured them to answer that, they wouldn't. So if they're already looking towards Secret Wars, if they're already looking towards Wolverine, maybe there's a chance negotiations had already started with the Russos to come back for one of these projects. That's what I find most interesting about this article. And while they may again have known they were on record when saying these things, if they're the middle of negotiations right now, that's why they don't want to be on record of saying anything like that in an interview type style where it can be directly attributed to them. That's why it comes out secondhand via one of their friends who writes for the Wall Street Journal or one of their acquaintances, because they're in the middle of negotiations. Now you put this out there, and just like sports negotiations, once you get stuff in the news, the public opinion starts to sway. And what a better negotiating chip for the Russos than to have public opinion on their side and go, oh no, we love the Russos, we want them back. And it sort of lends their support to Scarlett Johansson and what Disney did in the first place by not paying her what she would have been entitled to had it just been a strictly box office release. And guys, since we're looking at the numbers now, it does, in my opinion, look like the day and date release, which was the simultaneous premiere access release for Black Widow, really hit those box office numbers. Shang-Chi is actually tracking less for an opening night on Thursday, 8.8 million, as opposed to Black Widow's 13.5, but is supposed to crush the record this weekend to do close to 80, maybe even $100 million. Black Widow was severely hurt by the fact that it came out on Disney Plus. And of course, there's the issue of piracy. It's not just a cam that's leaking out. People are grabbing the HD version. You add all this up, and really what this looks like to me is actually a quite exciting story where the headline should read, Russos in negotiations with Marvel Studios to return for future project. The fact that this information's coming out tells me that's what's going on. Maybe I'm incorrect, but I mean, why would this even be a story? The fact that they don't want to go on record or have any quotes attributed directly to them tells me they might still be in negotiations. And quite honestly, no matter what Disney did, Kevin Feige is still the president of Marvel Studios. Their relationship still runs as deep as ever. They've worked on, between producer and director, they've worked on some of the most iconic films of all time. That relationship's still there. That relationship with the talent that is still at Marvel Studios and the characters that have hung over from the Infinity War saga is still there. I think this was just a good opportunity for them to lend their support for Scarlett Johansson, to rage against the machine, so to speak, and maybe get a leg up in negotiations. And for me, this is super exciting because I cannot wait for the Wolverine or Secret Wars. Or since you're at it, why don't we do both? Pick it up just like Captain America, give us a Wolverine trilogy and lead it directly into Secret Wars. Nice big fat character arc, 5 films, same character. I'm all for it. I know you guys are here for it too. That's literally what we're here for. We're not here for any other reason. I mean, we are Spider-Man No Way Home and some other Marvel movies. Okay, all the Marvel movies. Okay, yeah, and Disney Plus. Okay, we're here for that. But we're also here for the Russos coming back for 3 Wolverines and 2 Secret Wars. How about 3 Secret Wars? 3-part movie? All right, guys. I'm done. It's the end of the video. Let's do the giveaway stuff. Leave your. I mean, who's? This is literally what we're here for. We're here for that. We're still giving away PlayStation 5s, one at 900,000 subscribers, which we might be able to hit by the end of the month or the beginning of next. We're also giving one away when What If concludes. So with luck, those might even be the same week. So there's 2 PlayStation 5s up for grabs, weekly Disney Plus subscriptions, and Shang-Chi tickets every day this week. We had a winner in the video earlier today, so check on that. But all you got to do to be entered to win, all the same rules apply. Hit the subscribe button, comment down below, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be selected and announced at the end of videos the same way we're doing here. Best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me over on Twitter and Instagram at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. Some of you have reached out. I know Spotify's either not in your country or you don't have an account. No worries. The music is also on YouTube. The name of my music is All Fires. It's just me though. It's just my different branding because I'm bad at it, and I've got a different title for myself on every platform. GG's. All right, guys. Stay healthy. Stay safe this weekend. Party hard, but take care of each other. Don't drink and drive. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.